And here we are once again, my brothers and sisters. I want to welcome you to another Living Hope Today study. Today, we have the privilege of looking at 1 Samuel chapter 11. You remember that God has been requested. They told God, look, God, we want a king. Oh yeah, okay, you're God. We've been living under a theocracy for centuries, but we want to be like all the pagan nations around us. Yeah, okay, we know you've delivered us, you've provided for us, you've protected us, you've done everything for us, but we want to be ruled by some guy that we can see, not by you. God has brought the prophet Samuel into the picture. Samuel has been told to anoint a young man from the Benjamin tribe named Saul. Saul has proven himself to be not super competent and maybe not even excited about the new position. But today, now that Saul has been anointed king, we see God move through Saul, I should say King Saul, to minister to his people. Let me show you what I mean. So here we see a guy named Nahash, and he's an Ammonite. You remember in ancient Israel, there were two basic enemies at this moment in history. On the west, you had the Philistines, and they bordered right up against the Mediterranean, and they were constantly attacking and having battles with the people of Israel. And on the east, we have the Ammonites, large, powerful, militarily efficient. They could kill you. Well, here we see that this guy named Nahash, and he's an Ammonite, what does he do? He goes up and he besieged Jabesh Gilead. So we're not talking about, how you guys doing today? We're talking about, hey, we're coming to attack you, kill you, take your stuff. That's what Nahash is doing. So, and all the men of Jabesh said to him, so they're under attack, and what do they say to Nahash? They say, hey, make a treaty with us, and we'll be subject to you. Hey, Nahash, we surrender. We'll be your slaves, no problem. Just stop killing us, okay? Stop fighting against us. In other words, there's capitulation, all right? Well, let me just back up for a minute and show you this. Way up here is Jabesh Gilead, right, in the northeastern part of Israel. And you would notice that gray area, let's see, behind me over here. That's where the Ammonites would be hanging out on the eastern side of Israel. So they're being attacked. Notice at the bottom here, Judah's at the very bottom. We'll see why I point that out in a minute. But Benjamin here is the place where Saul has come from. He's part of the Benjamite tribe, okay? Just to give you a little perspective on what's happening. This is all north of Jerusalem and south of the Sea of Galilee. Okay, so the attack comes. The people say, we'll do whatever you want. Just stop it. And Nahash the Ammonite replied, okay, I'll make a treaty with you, but only on one condition. Oh, what's the condition? You want our women? You want to take all our livestock? What's the condition, Nahash? I want to gouge out the right eye of every one of you. So bring disgrace on all Israel. Really? You're going to take an entire city and gouge out the right eye of every person there? Ay, 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 brutal. I mean, totally terrible. Wow. The elders of Jabesh said to him, give us 7 days so we can send messengers throughout Israel. If no one comes to rescue us, we will surrender. Hey, all we want is a week. Give us a week. If our brothers can't come and help us, well, okay then. You can gouge out our eyes and do whatever you want to us. Doesn't sound very strong, does it? One thing you don't see here yet is this big cry out to God, what should we do? Doesn't seem to be happening yet. Well, when the messengers came to Gibeah of Saul, and reported these terms to the people, they all wept aloud. So the first response we see as Israel's informed of this terrible event is that let's cry. Let's all cry about it. It would be nice to know we cried out to the Lord, we fasted, we prayed, we sought his power and strength. You don't read that. Just, we're in trouble. They're doing these bad things in Jabesh Gilead. Let's cry. Well, it is sad. Go ahead and cry, but this is not a proper response. This does not take into account the God you serve. But Israel is kind of in that place right now where they're not thinking about the God they serve. They're thinking about themselves. Give us a human king because, God, we don't want you. Really a bad thing to say to God. But anyway, verse 5. Just then Saul was returning from the fields behind his oxen. So Saul is out there working. And he asked, what is wrong with the people? Why are they weeping? And then they repeated to him what the men of Jabesh had said. So now Saul is informed of the story. Now here we go. Listen to this. When Saul heard their words, the Spirit of God came upon him in power, and he burned with anger. So now God interjects himself. He hasn't been summoned. They haven't cried out to him, but he is going to use Saul to solve this problem. He is going to bring resolution through the new king. Very interesting. The Spirit of God comes on Saul, comes on him in power. Saul is very upset, but he's not weeping. He's angry. Catch it. He's creating a response that would honor God instead of deny God. Well, he took a pair of oxen, he cut them into pieces, and he sent the pieces by messengers throughout Israel, proclaiming, this is what will be done to the oxen of anyone who does not follow Saul and Samuel. Okay, here's the threat. I'm going to destroy all your livestock. I'm the new king if you don't get over here. Then the terror of the Lord fell on the people, and they turned out as one man. So now Saul is mustering the troops, basically. When Saul mustered them at Bezek, the men of Israel numbered 300,000. The men of Judah, all the way down south, they were able to bring 30,000 guys. All right, so now we have 330,000 guys that are going to respond to the Ammonites' threat. They told the messengers who had come, say to the men of Jabesh Gilead, by the time the sun is hot tomorrow, you will be delivered. Now that's absolute confidence. By noon, that's when the sun gets hot, we're going to get you out of this mess. When the messengers went and reported this to the men of Jabesh, they were elated. I bet they were. Somebody's going to come to our rescue. We will have relief from the attack. Excellent. Then they said to the Ammonites, here you go, strategy. Tomorrow we will surrender to you, and you can do to us whatever seems good to you. Knowing that Saul and 330,000 guys are on the way, they placate the Ammonites by saying, yep, okay, I guess we're sunk. Don't see anybody coming. All right, well, just give us one more night with both eyes, and tomorrow you can do whatever you want. Wow, we surrender. But the next day, Saul, notice it's him, the king. He separated his men into 3 divisions during the last watch of the night. That's like at 3 a.m. The last watch is from 3 to 6 a.m. Sometimes they call it the 4th watch. During the last watch of the night, they broke into the camp of the Ammonites, and they slaughtered them. Wow. So in the middle of the night, Saul has divided his guys into 3 divisions. They've come surrounding the Ammonites and ambushed them, killing them all in the middle of the night and until the heat of the day. So what Saul had proclaimed has now taken place. And they have defeated the Ammonites. Those who survived were scattered so that no 2 of them were left together. I mean, they've been routed. The Ammonites who had such threats and had such damage done at Jabesh Gilead, now they're all scattered if they're not dead. They're They're done as a force. The people said to Samuel, okay, now we're going to talk about the prophet. Who was it that asked, shall Saul reign over us? Now that's a question. Just think about that. The question is, who doubted that Saul should be our king? That's another way to restate that. Okay? Bring these men to us and we'll put them to death. We have seen that King Saul is a leader. He's a warrior. You remember the tribe of Benjamin. They're excellent fighters. We've already seen that in Exodus 19, 20, 21. I'm sorry, Judges 19, 20, 21. In the end, what's happening here? Well, Saul has been a great warrior. God has opened the door to give him a great victory. The Ammonites have been routed, and now the people are getting defensive of Saul. They're saying, look, anybody that's against Saul, bring him out here. Let's put him to death. Well, Saul says, wait a minute, nobody's going to be put to death today, for this day the Lord has rescued Israel. Look at that. Beautiful, Saul. He gives credit to the Lord for the victory. He's not going to have vengeance on those people that hate him or are his enemies, as we saw at the end of chapter 10. Some people don't like Saul being the king. Well, Samuel enters here. He says, Samuel said to the people, come, let us go to Gilgal and there reaffirm the kingship. Okay, let's ride the wave of this victory and make sure everybody understands that God has endorsed this transition by giving Saul such a great victory over the Ammonites. So all the people went to Gilgal and confirmed Saul as king in the presence of the Lord. There it is. You're in, Saul. Even if people don't like you, they're not going to say it anymore because you've had this tremendous victory. And we understand that the victory came from God and it came through you. God has established Saul. All right? He confirmed Saul. All right? They've sacrificed fellowship offerings before the Lord. They're worshiping God as God has decreed. He wants them to worship. And Saul and all the Israelites held a great celebration. Wow, I love that. Here we are on a great high. We've come off of a huge victory and we're celebrating, and Saul's for sure the king, and what could possibly go wrong? Well, just stick with me. Next time we'll find out. God bless you, church. Serve him well.
Who is it who for sinners shed his blood, and now for cleansing all can plunge beneath that flood? It's Jesus.